Imagine you have a younger woman you like right now, either from church or work, or that female friend who lives down the street, or she's a friend of yours. And she's giving you little signs, little hints, little signals that she's really into you, but you're not quite sure how to bring it from platonic friend to getting her clothes ripped right off her body. That just sucks when you're permanently stuck there in the friend zone. I know guys who secretly like their female friend and they get stuck there for years. I know other guys who have fumbled this because they make awkward, clumsy advances on the girl they like and they get the cold shoulder, a polite rejection where the girl tells them, "I see you as more like a friend." So maybe you have that female friend and you just wished there was some easy and reliable way to get her consistently turned on, to get her consistently feeling horny for you, and do it fast, in a matter of mere minutes, without making it awkward and without creeping her out. I'm Dr. Fiona Grey, your trusted men's health advisor. Here's what we're covering today. First, the hormonal chemistry behind female arousal. Why women respond completely differently than men to sexual stimulation. Then, the specific touch techniques that flood her body with oxytocin and testosterone to make her horny fast. And finally, the eye contact method that creates sexual chemistry without touching her at all. Most guys try the tactics without understanding what's happening in her body, and that's why they fail. So let me show you the right order. Hit that subscribe button because what we're covering today is based on sexual biochemistry and female psychology that most men never learn. Let's start with why men and women are very different when it comes to arousal. We have different chemical hormones leading our brains. Men have about 10 to 20 times more testosterone than women do. High testosterone can release dopamine in the brain, making you feel pleasure. As a man, testosterone's also responsible for your sex drive. When you have high testosterone, you pretty much want to bang anything that moves. You get super horny. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Women, on the other hand, have higher levels of a different hormone than we men do, and that is called oxytocin. Oxytocin is a very powerful sex hormone that floods the female brain with signals to bond with other human beings. For example, when a woman is breastfeeding a newborn baby, her body gets flooded with oxytocin to bond with that baby. Oxytocin also floods her body when she's having an orgasm so that she bonds with the man during intercourse. But wait, there's something else happening here that most men don't realize. When a woman is being touched by a man, especially in those sensitive hot spots with a lot of nerve endings like her wrist or her neck, oxytocin floods her body. And here's another interesting thing about oxytocin. When a woman's body is flooded with this sexual hormone, her testosterone levels also shoot way up. Her testosterone levels go up just like a man's does. And when she has high testosterone, guess what? She gets horny. The girl gets horny. She wants to smash whoever is in front of her. Doesn't matter what the guy looks like. Doesn't matter how old the guy is. Because now it's her lizard brain taking over. It's that chemical in her body, the oxytocin, the testosterone, telling her how to feel. It's an automatic response. And this is where it gets critical. What that means is if you want to get your female friend feeling horny, flood her body with oxytocin. Flood her body with testosterone. Both are very powerful sexual hormones. A great, proven, surefire way to accomplish that is through physical touch. Touching her sensitive parts of her body that have a lot of nerve endings. Touching her wrist, touching her neck, touching the inside of her elbow, touching her upper thigh. Here's what most people don't realize. Have you ever had the experience where a female friend of yours maybe just gave you a small little touch on the shoulder or gave you a small little touch on the hand, and then it was like boom, like a bolt out of the blue, like lightning striking you from the sky? You suddenly saw this woman in a whole new light. You suddenly got the tingles for her. You started to feel the sexual spark with her. Maybe you even got an erection out of nowhere, and you didn't even think much of this woman. She wasn't even that attractive to you. Well, in women, that touch effect is literally 10 times more powerful. That touch effect has 10 times, guys, 10 times the emotional impact on her. And that's why even a small, well-placed, innocent little touch can turn you from being that nice guy friend into her potential lover, into her next potential partner, almost instantly, just like that, in mere seconds. Keep this in mind because it connects directly to the specific moves I'm about to show you. Now I'm going to share with you some of my very favorite moves to touch a female friend of yours and get her turned on, but do it in a way where you sneak underneath her radar. Do it in a way that feels normal and natural to her, not creepy, not overly grabby, not coming across as clumsy. The very first way, and this is very simple, very basic, yet most of you guys are not following the basics. As you're speaking to a woman, you want to gesture. That's right, you want to gesture to her with one hand. Hey, how you doing, Sarah? Hey, it's good to see you again. You gesture with one hand as you speak to her, sort of like how an Italian would. You go to Italy, you're going to see these old Italian men who talk like this. They're constantly gesturing. Most of you guys, you're not gesturing at all. So all you gotta do is simply keep your hand up above your waist, up here, and you gesture. And what this allows you to do is reach out and touch your female friend on the shoulder. It allows you to reach out and touch her on the arm. Hey, did you hear the news about Bob? What happened to him? And you reach out and you touch her arm, you touch her hand, you touch her shoulder. Most guys think they need elaborate pickup lines or perfect timing. But here's the thing most men don't realize about incidental touch. When you're talking to a girl and reaching out and touching her as you talk, that's called an incidental touch. You're just incidentally touching her. It's almost of no consequence. Incidental touches are perfectly normal, perfectly reasonable to do in any conversation, as long as you are gesturing. Because if you have your hands down in your pockets, or you have your hands crossed on your chest, if then you were to reach out and touch the girl, now look at how much distance your hand is now making. And now it's super obvious you're reaching out. It's super noticeable now, and that's why it's awkward. But when you're already gesturing, now your hand only has to travel a couple of inches, and now you've touched her. And that touch triggers that oxytocin response and gets her horny. Now, she might act like she doesn't notice your touch, but believe me, she is noticing it. She is fully aware that she is being stimulated. Let me clear up a massive misunderstanding about this approach. The next move you can make to turn on a female friend in just a couple of minutes simply by touching her is to inspect her jewelry, to do a jewelry inspection. Like if she's wearing a necklace, you can simply reach out and touch the necklace. You reach out as if you're inspecting it. So I'm curious, what's the meaning of this necklace here? It's so beautiful. Why are you wearing it? Or if she's wearing a bracelet, you simply reach out and you touch it. You touch her wrist, and her wrist is packed with sensitive nerve endings. Hey, I'm curious, what's the meaning of this bracelet? It's so beautiful. Where did you get this? And then you're getting that little touch in, and that little touch is going to spark that oxytocin response and get your female friend horny. Now, if your female friend is not wearing jewelry, alternatively, you can do a skin inspection. You can inspect her skin. For example, you tell her, "So, I don't understand this, Jessica. Tell me, why is your skin so tan? I don't get it." And you hold up your hand to her hand, and you make that touch as you compare her skin color to your skin color. Are you rubbing like a special ointment to get tan like that? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm liking it. Or you could tell her, "Jessica, why is your skin so pale? I kind of took you as an outdoor type." And you lift up your forearm, touch her forearm to compare skin colors. And that little touch is going to trigger that oxytocin response in your female friend and start to get her horny. Remember this because we'll come back to it. The key is that these touches need to feel incidental and natural. Here's another powerful move, the hand comparison. You can tell her, "Hey, let me see your hand for a second." When she holds it out, you take it and compare hand sizes. Wow, your hands are so small compared to mine. Or, your hands are actually bigger than I thought. This gives you an excuse to hold her hand for 5 to 10 seconds, which is a much longer touch than the quick incidental ones. The elbow touch is another one that flies completely under the radar. When you're walking somewhere together, maybe from the car to a restaurant or from one room to another, you can gently guide her by lightly touching her elbow. This is a protective, masculine gesture that triggers her biological response to male leadership. She'll barely register it consciously, but her body will respond. Here's a variation that works incredibly well in the right context: the back touch. When you're in a crowded space or walking through a doorway, place your hand on the small of her back to guide her through. This is a dominant, protective move that creates instant sexual polarity. The small of the back is surprisingly sensitive, and that brief contact sends signals throughout her nervous system. If you're sitting next to each other, and you should always try to sit next to her rather than across from her, you can do what I call the laugh touch. When she says something funny, reach out and touch her knee or thigh while you laugh. Hold it for 2 seconds, then remove your hand. This associates your touch with positive emotions and pleasure. Let me explain another dimension of turning on your female friend that doesn't require touch at all. Getting your female friend turned on and horny doesn't have to be through physical touch alone. You can also get your female friend turned on and feeling horny without even touching her at all, just by the way you look at her. Now, most guys screw this up completely. They're either looking at the woman's face in general, but not into her eyes, or he's looking into her eyes, but the eye contact is very platonic, very friendly, or he's having trouble holding eye contact with her at all. And I guarantee you, if you do any of those, the girl will feel no sexual chemistry with you at all, and she'll feel like you're just friends. And that's how you end up in the friend zone. So if you want to get her feeling horny and turned on, what you want to do instead is give her little flashes of the tiger eyes. Give her little flashes of sexualized gaze. And guys, this is very simple, it's very straightforward. When the girl is talking to you, you're going to pick one of her pupils, and you're going to focus in on that pupil. And then you imagine having sex with her when she's speaking to you. And that's pretty much it. Just imagine having sex with her. Imagine her naked. Imagine pulling her in and kissing her. This is the part that changes everything. When you are talking to her, what you're going to do is slow down the tempo when you speak to her. You slow down the rhythm with longer and longer pauses, and you start to stretch out the vowels so you have a sexier speaking voice. So instead of saying to her, "Hey Jessica, did you do the assignment from yesterday?" You say, "Hey Jessica, so did you do the assignment from yesterday?" And then when she speaks, you imagine pulling her in, kissing her. You imagine her naked. And what this ends up doing is that sexualized eye contact with your female friend creates a sexual connection with her. And your sexual thoughts change your pupils in a very subtle way. They give you those bedroom eyes. They give you those tiger eyes, as I call it. And she'll start to feel horny. And this works because the girl will tend to feel whatever you're feeling. So most men, what they do is they try to hide their sexuality. They try to hide their sexual thoughts from the girl. So they only give off this friendly friend vibe. And the girl only feels friendship for him. And that's how they get friend-zoned. But when you start to feel sexual for the girl, when you feel that raw sexuality for her, and you don't hide it, you're just open about it, then she will start to feel it too, and she will follow you into that state. Here's the bottom line. Turning on your female friend in under 4 minutes comes down to triggering her body's natural hormonal response through strategic touch and sexualized eye contact. When you gesture naturally while talking, so incidental touches feel normal. When you inspect her jewelry or compare skin tones to create legitimate reasons for contact. And when you give her those tiger eyes while imagining her naked, you're flooding her system with oxytocin and testosterone that make her horny. Try this approach the next time you're with that female friend you like. Keep your hands up and gesture as you talk. Touch her arm, her shoulder, her hand as you speak. Inspect her bracelet or necklace. Compare your hand size to hers. Guide her with your hand on her elbow or the small of her back. And when you lock eyes, imagine pulling her in and kissing her. Slow down your speech, stretch out the vowels, and let those longer pauses build tension. Watch how her pupils dilate and her body language changes. That's when you know it's working. If this completely changed how you think about turning on female friends, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever successfully turned a female friend into something more? And what was the move that worked? I read every single one. Thanks for watching. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep taking care of yourself.